Before we discuss the Paris Accord, I'd like to begin with an update on our tremendous, absolutely tremendous economic progress since Election Day. The economy is starting to come back. We've added $3.3 trillion in stock market value for the United States, creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. It was a very, very successful trip. We have taken historic steps to demand fair and reciprocal trade that gives Americans a level playing field. Our attacks on terrorism are greatly stepped up. We're bringing jobs, plants, and factories back into the United States. On these issues and so many more, we're following through on our commitments. I am fighting every day for the great people of this country. But begin negotiations to re-enter either the Paris Accord or in really entirely new transaction. The Paris Climate Accord is simply the latest example of Washington entering into an agreement that disadvantages the United States. Thus, as of today, the United States will cease all implementation of the non-binding Paris Accord. Very importantly, the Green Climate Fund, which is costing the United States a vast fortune. This includes 440,000 fewer manufacturing jobs, not what we need. Believe me, this is not what we need. I cannot in good conscience support a deal that punishes the United States, which is what it does. India makes its participation contingent on receiving billions and billions and billions of dollars in foreign aid. China will be allowed to build hundreds of additional coal plants. In short, the agreement doesn't eliminate coal jobs. It just transfers those jobs out of America and the United States. A cynic would say the obvious reason for economic competitors. We have among the most abundant energy reserves on the planet. Yet under this agreement, we are effectively putting these reserves under lock and key and leaving millions and millions of families trapped in poverty and joblessness. At 1% growth, renewable sources of energy can meet, even if the Paris Agreement were implemented in full. It is estimated it would only produce a 0.2 of 1 degree. Think of that. In fact, 14 days of carbon emissions from China alone would wipe out the gains after we have had to spend billions and billions of dollars, lost jobs, closed factories, and suffered much higher energy costs for our businesses and for our homes. I'm willing to immediately work with Democratic leaders to either negotiate our way back into Paris or to negotiate a new deal that protects our country and its taxpayers. The same nations asking us to stay in the agreement are the countries that have collectively cost America trillions of dollars. I promised I would exit or renegotiate any deal which fails to serve America's interests. The Green Fund would likely obligate the United States to commit. In 2015, the Green Climate Fund's executive director estimated funding needed would increase to $450 billion per year. Nobody's been able to say, where is it going to? America is $20 trillion in debt. Cash-strapped cities cannot hire enough police officers. There are serious legal and constitutional issues as well. The risks grow as historically these agreements only tend to become more and more ambitious over time. In other words, the Paris framework is just a starting point. I have one obligation, and that obligation is to the American people. The Paris Accord would undermine our economy, hamstring our workers, and put us at a permanent disadvantage to the other countries of the world. It is time to exit the Paris Accord and time to pursue a new deal that protects the environment, our companies, our citizens, and our country. And Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, before Paris, France. It is time to make America great again. Thank you.